Thanks for taking us camping, Grandpa.
Of course, anytime. I'm glad we can all do this together.
Hey, Grandpa, you know any good ghost stories?
Well, I guess I know one. It was long ago, before even I was born. There lived a man named Pumpnicus. Pumpnicus was said to be the ruler of the underworld, in a place known as the Nether. He ruled over all that was in it, and he had slaves that were called pigmen. Legend has it that these pigmen were the finest guards a man as powerful as Pumpnicus could have. They were said to have carried pure golden swords, crafted by only the finest blacksmiths in the fortress. These pigmen could kill and devour anything in their path. Some say these pigmen were a mix between zombies and pigs in an experiment gone wrong. Either way, Pumpnicus would give anything to have them. Now Pumpnicus was a wise man, but yet he was cold-hearted at the same time. He gave unfair and unnecessary orders to the creatures that worked for him, even to the pigmen. He had once commanded that every creature in the Nether must pay him half of their year's wages from working for him. Another time, Pumpnicus commanded that all the magma cubes, which, by the way, were evil slimes cast down to the underworld, would have to give their youngest son to him, to work for Pumpnicus forever. After many more evil orders, the creatures of the Nether got furious and all rose up against him, Pumpnicus, and threw him into the Nether portal, and he was never seen in the Nether again because they all closed the portal so he could never go back. This portal went from the Nether to the world we live in today. So, then Pumpnicus woke up unconscious in our world, and he was very angry. He still had powers as well to fly, light things on fire, and explode whatever he wants. Later through the night, as he slept on the cold, hard ground, he wondered to himself how he could take out his rage. So then, he saw a faint light in the distance and started to fly to it using his flight power. What he had found was a desert village with many villagers working. He then told himself, maybe I can take out my rage on them. And so he did. He set the first building he saw on fire. Then he threw explosions onto the houses. He completely destroyed all the village and everything that was in it. He then burned all these houses that he could find, either small or little. He continued to throw explosions onto the villagers' houses out of anger, pouring lava and doing anything he can, killing villagers, and just every single house that he could find, he had to completely burn it to the ground. This was definitely a horror to the village and all that lived inside of it. The explosions had still continued throughout the night. There was no way of escaping. The villagers even tried to hide at the top of the churches, and they tried to run, but they couldn't do it, as the pumpkin masked man, Pumpnicus, he had completely destroyed them all. This was a very, very large slaughter on this day, as he then finally saw the very last building burn to the ground. As he watched, he was very happy about this, as he stared into the village, as he was very excited. Then, one late afternoon, the villagers were prepared for the Pumpkin Man to come, because he had done this burning and destroying villages to all the other villages in the area, and so they developed an attack plan for when he landed, that they would capture him and put him in their enchanted room. And so then he did. He flew into their town. As he hurt a little bit of the villagers, they all cornered him, and they were eventually able to put him into the enchanted room. In this room, all of his powers couldn't work, and so they held him captive there until they knew what they would do with him. And so the villagers had all started talking about what they should do with him, and they had come to a conclusion to execute him by burning in lava. The Pumpkin Man had now died. And so then, after around a decade later, local villagers had had sightings of this pumpkin man, even after his death. And so then, local geographical scholars and scientists had then come to a conclusion that the pumpkin man was, and always will be, a myth. Wow, that was great! That was such a really cool story, Grandpa.
Yeah, it was amazing. Could you please tell us another? Please, please?
No, we ought to get to bed. We got a long day ahead of us tomorrow.
Okay. Well, thanks for the story, Grandpa.
Yeah, thanks. So this is just a story, right, Grandpa? Yes, don't worry. It's just an old ghost story from when I was around you guys' age. Alright, let's get to bed now, though. Although, I am really glad that he's not real. It'd be real scary if he was. Alright, good night.